Now, if this Subaru with this instantly recognizable pink logo is the hero, today's son of a rally car is the villain. A villain, highlighting the hero's virtues and flaws for decades. Even if you're Team Subaru, you still respect this rally legend. It emerged from the grueling new stages of Group A rally back in the early 90s, and set its sights directly on the world title, which it took from the clutches of Subaru. It took over a decade to come to the US, but it was worth the wait, because when it did, you know all four wheels were on fire. It's the Mitsubishi Evolution. I'm Brad, this is Ideal, and this is why you need a Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. And stick around till the end because I'm gonna let you know which one is my ideal Evo. Please like, subscribe, let's go. Now, to truly appreciate the Evo, one must journey back to its inception, the 1990s, a golden era for automotive enthusiasts, and amidst its renaissance, Mitsubishi sought a hero for the World Rally Championship because the WRC had tightened the level of difficulty of its races. And with narrow rally stages, Mitsubishi's former rally mule, the Galant VR4, was simply too big to be anywhere near competitive in the new compact age of rally. So Mitsubishi, being Mitsubishi, put the fate of its rally aspirations in the hands of the smaller Lancer sedan. And with a complete swap of the Galant VR4 parts, Mitsubishi had built a rally-ready version, the Lancer Evolution. This passing of the Mitsubishi torch would not only lead to the incredibly capable and engaging road car we all know and love, but it would send Mitsubishi to the history books of the WRC. More specifically, the Mitsubishi Works Evo 3, driven by Tommy McKinnon, took the WRC title in 1996 and spread the true gospel of the Evo throughout the world, even though it wasn't sold in most countries at the time. Yet, despite the Evo's big win being nearly 3 decades ago, the spirit of its performance and versatility continued through its entire production life cycle. In fact, the final generations, the 8, 9, and 10, are some of the best ones of all. The iconic, some say legendary 4G63 engine was present in both the 8 and 9, and the 10 saw the all-new 4B11 4-cylinder swapped in. These 3 generations made 271, 286, and 295 horsepower respectively, but all had the same core goodies that defined the Evo experience: all-wheel drive, a manual transmission option, cat-like agility and grip, and world-class steering feel to top it off. They had Mitsubishi's epic active yaw control, which used sensors to decide which individual wheel needed more torque to better get you through a corner. A cohesive package of handling, power, and style almost always had it coming out on top in comparison tests with the WRX. Sorry, Subi gang. Now, in all seriousness, the WRX crowd does deserve some credit here. The WRX, and especially the STI, gave the Evo its most formidable rivalry for the entire production run. From 1992 all the way up to the Mitsubishi's unfortunate death in 2016, RIP, the WRX was right there keeping it honest and pushing the boundaries of all-wheel drive performance alongside it. Obviously, the WRX is the Evo's natural competitor, but there were some other respectable foes that went head-to-head with the mighty Mitsubishi in its day. Cars like the Volkswagen Golf R32, the Focus RS, and the Audi S3 all had similar characteristics and some incredible performance to give the Evo a run for its money. Even so, not all the competition had all-wheel drive, and none of them were quite as special as the Evo. Now, in all honesty, we drive an 8, 9, or 10 over any of those cars all day. And that's a real reason why you should buy this car, the experience. The most recent generations are especially good at giving the driver what they wanted. Peaky turbo torque? No problem. Telepathically quick and precise handling? Evo's got it. More all-wheel drive grip than anything else in its segment? Boom, it's yours. Oh, and a wicked aggressive rally-inspired exterior? Check. Blue check mark, in fact. We love these cars because they have that special X factor, a special secret sauce that attracts you like an aphrodisiac. And once you're there, the experience is everything that you could imagine and more. Okay, maybe everything except the interior. I mean, besides the cool optional Recaro seats, it's pretty much low-key. I mean, it's a Mitsubishi after all. In fact, let's step back from the greatness for a second, go over a few more less than ideal quirks about the Evo with your favorite YouTube master technician, Trav. Shall we?
One of the common issues owners will run into lies inside the gearbox. Essentially, the bearings for both the input and output shafts that came on the cars from the factory were a little on the fragile side. You'll start hearing the transmission whine, and left unchecked, they can come apart, sending metal shrapnel through the transmission. Now, you can avoid that by performing regular fluid replacement and keeping a close eye on things, or just upgrading the bearings altogether. There are a few other mods that can be done to beef up the gearbox while you're in there, like the pin that holds the center differential together. That's been known to fail too, but the part was updated in 2011. Also, the clutch is apparently a weak part on the car, but I think that has a lot to do with how all these things get driven, especially if you go adding a bunch of extra boost. The last thing to look out for is the wastegate actuator. They can fail stuck completely open, which means you get no boost, or worse, they can fail closed, which means you'll be overboosting. Neither of those scenarios are ideal, and overboosting can be downright dangerous, so just keep an eye on it. But besides all that, they seem to be pretty solid cars. Just remember, like with almost any car ever made, if you start cranking up the power, you're likely gonna have more problems. So as always, please do your research.
Okay, so what can you expect to pay for an Evo? Well, it really depends on the generation and its condition, of course. But the Evo didn't even come to America until 2003 with the Evo 8, so people in the States tend to pay top dollar for anything before that. But in the name of fairness, we're gonna focus on the Evo 8, 9, and 10 as they were the most attainable for the average viewer. That being said, no Evo is cheap. So for a great condition Evo with minimal or no aftermarket mods, you can count on spending at least 20,000 big ones. But depending on the generation, whether that be an 8, 9, 10, plus taking into account the trim level and mileage reading, you may be looking at 40K or more for some mint examples. For the sake of this video though, we're gonna look for the lowest and highest sale price and decide on the best overall spec. Coming in at the low end is this decent looking 2006 Evo 9 painted in lightning blue. The price is indicative of the 100,000 miles on the odometer and the signs of age like paint imperfections and the multiple modifications due to repairs. This one also has some aftermarket parts and some added power, but it's sold for a very decent $13,500. Though it's not perfect, it would be a great way to enter the Evo community. Now for the high end, we have another Evo 9. This time it's the MR trim version, which adds some performance parts and a more racy feel. And if you want to learn more about the generations, go check out our Evo rundown, I'll link down below. This high price example is finished in the factory Apex Silver and has just 809 miles on it. Yeah, you heard me right, 809 miles, which is why it sold for a whopping $90,000. Even though it's essentially brand new, this one has been stroked out from 2 liters to 2.3 with a bunch of added suspension mods and engine upgrades. It also has the factory zero lift package, which adds a rear wing extension, a front air dam, and front brake air guide. I mean, this thing is as close as you can get to perfect for an American Evo. But as I was mentioning, this kind of example will run your wallet very sad. So, what's the ideal spec? Well, first off, if you can find an Evo X with decent miles and a manual transmission, maybe give that some consideration as it was the final year for the Evo and it'll probably go up in value in the next few years. But as for our ideal spec, we'd go with an Evo 8 with the MR trim for that added boost of flair. We'd also have to go with the beautiful weightless white color with some matching white BBS wheels or any rally style set. As far as mods, the Evo doesn't really need much help to be an insanely fun driver's car. We'd only get a slightly upgraded exhaust for better airflow, some wheels of course, and maybe some more hefty input-output shafts to make it bulletproof. And here it is, the ideal Evo, in all its rally-inspired glory. And guys, if you'd like to learn the ideal way to buy an Evo or any other ideal car, check out our new free workshop outlining our ideal car buying strategies, which I'll link below. And regardless of whether or not you agree with our spec, any Evo you can get your hands on is truly ideal. This is a car that not only brought a WRC title to Mitsubishi, but hit the public streets with a feverish desire for excellence and dominated the all-wheel drive performance segment with authority. Decades might pass and new all-wheel drive stuff will come out, but the heart and soul of the Mitsubishi Evo will forever remain undiminished. A testament to Mitsubishi's genius, the Evo isn't just a car, it's a phenomenon that forever changed the landscape of motorsports and motoring passion. So, come here. Why do you need an Evo? Well, if you love watching movies and rooting for the villain, not the hero, if you love the duality of an asphalt apex slayer and an off-road honey badger who don't give a fuck, and if you love to make every drive feel extra special, each generation of the Lancer Evolution will give that to you and be begging for more. A car like this will never be built again, with a higher strung than your ex-girlfriend Turbo 4, all-wheel drive that grips harder than nails into your back, and supermodel good looks that make you swipe right every time, 60% of the time. And that is exactly why you need one, or a WRX. So let us know below which one you'd rather have in your driveway if I gave you my mom's credit card. Also, if you enjoyed this vid, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell for the YouTube algorithm. And I'm Brad, this is Ideal, and promise me one thing, keep living the ideal side. I'm only human.